Oh, hey, thank you, Linda. That's so sweet of you. Hey, Raven from San Diego. Here it's beautiful there. I've never been to San Diego. Infinite One, Netherlands. Hey, Richard. Yeah, it's it's a labor of love, man. I'm really enjoying this. This is the best part of my life. Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, I can go live here. Okay. And it's growing in an organic, nice way. You know, it's like I feel like it's within the bounds of, hey, Mordechai, shalom, within the bounds of holiness. I mean, it's within the bounds of me not trying to push past the boundaries of what God wants me to do. You know, like not getting in the way too much. You know, not getting to be like, not trying to be a big shot or anything like that, and just try to go with the flow and enjoy it. Um, let me just check this. Okay. All right. I don't know what's coming in. Okay. Message from Swamp. Okay, let me just get this quickly. Okay. All right. So, hey, Dennis. Yeah, the ocean is awesome, man. This is the place to live. For me anyway. You know, and I just found out this is so. You know, this is how God works. I dealt with a lot of real estate agents to find this place. I was looking for a place in Long Beach, which is a kind of a fancier place. It's kind of like a hip town where everybody wants to live and hang out, and I tried to rent there for a couple of months, and they were just like, we are not going to rent to you. You know, you do not have the qualifications. You can, and it was much more expensive than this. But I found this one guy. I think he was the first. Was he the first or second real estate agent I talked to? I think it was the first. He was like this really cool guy named Pasquale, and he said, and he showed me an apartment that was like utterly not what I was looking for. It was like I can't, you know, I would have just crumbled up like a, you know, it would have just been the end of me to live in. Like it had no view. It was like tucked away somewhere. But I now want to rent. I'm hoping that as the channel grows, that I'll be able to rent a second apartment in this building and get a view from the other side of the building for guests, you know, so I could have guests, or like my mom could come by, and if my son wants to spend some time, or if, you know, somebody from one of you guys he needs a place to crash for a couple of days. And I really I love this building. So I am. But it turns out that that I asked the super. I said, "You have somebody in the building?" He told me he had somebody in the building who was a real estate agent, and it turns out it's the same Pasquale that I originally connected to. He's he's very like, you know, just plain old regular folks. You know, just nothing fancy, man. I mean, that's um, that's kind of like my speed. I don't, you know, I don't. Yeah, it's amazing though. It's amazing how God takes care of you, you know. But I'm not ready to do that yet. I'm still struggling a little bit financially, but not a lot. Please don't, you know, you guys are doing fine. Everything is good, and Yeah, I got my mother some ASEA this morning. I ordered some ASEA for her. I said, there were a lot of people that had when I went there were a lot of people had problems with Alzheimer's and strokes and all this other stuff, and she's in perfect health, and but she remembers my father. My father got a stroke because he was taking medicine, man. Because he was going by the medical model, and they poisoned it with some kind of blood pressure stuff, and that was the end of him, man. He was strong as a horse, but so I want my mom to get on it and enjoy the her later years in good health. Anyway, so yeah, so happy Friday, everyone. Shira's here. Yeah, hey Shira. Um, I also I don't know if I really went into it, but I had an awesome interview yesterday with Faye Inger, and I recommend you. I'm going to write it down. YouTube Faye Inger. Go to if you really want to see now what was exciting about this point. I mean, if you like what I say, I brought up some points that I've never said before on YouTube. I mean, I think she's a very hey Shira. I think she's a very high soul, this Faye Inger. And she just asked me some questions that brought up some issues that I've really wanted to launch into. Specifically, I have planned eventually to talk about the idea surrounding, mm, I hesitate to even talk about it now, but around the idea of a person who is not in a does not have a partner, and how do they deal with the extreme angst of not having a somebody to to express themselves with, and the idea of, and it's a big issue that I don't think the religious communities have addressed, and I don't think that the cabal, I mean, the cabal's answer is pornography, and I don't think that's necessarily the answer, and I don't think it's not clearly like this is bad and this is good. That's how everybody wants to deal with this, but I think there's a middle ground here, and I plan at some point in my communication process to launch into a discussion of this area of consciousness, which I think is nobody wants to talk about, but is of critical importance to the continuation of the species and the continuation of love between men and women. We have to find a way forward. So I don't think just merely dismissing it as saying it's no good, it's terrible. I mean, there is an aspect of that, but I don't think that really answers the question. And I was able, because Faye asked questions in a very on a very high level. I was able to to approach this subject for the first time on YouTube. And this is a subject that I really want to get into to a little more. It's a very delicate, and I have to really tread lightly, not because I'm afraid of censorship, but because it's such a hot issue, and that's probably why nobody has really dealt with it. That I don't want to just bulldoze my way into this topic. I want to approach it in a kind of a gentle way, because it's not a simple, even though people want to just say, okay, this is good and this is bad and this is the way you should, it's I don't believe it's that simple, but and also we've already fallen into this trap, the so just, it's like telling a smoker, it's just like, just quit, just quit. It's what's the big deal? It's bad for you. You can't, to somebody who smokes, and I know because I was a smoker, and smoking tobacco, and I used to grow my own tobacco. Smoking tobacco is, for my opinion, and I've been addicted to, you know, narcotics, cocaine, a lot of like really not nice things. From my point of view, tobacco is the most addictive thing that I've ever encountered. except for maybe romance. But that's a whole nother. I don't even want to go into this. But hey, Erica, eye drops sold in drugstores. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, this doesn't surprise me. Um, I stay away from all these products. I don't want. I don't. Hey, Mio. Yeah, Mio. You listen. If you have, you know, okay. Can I? I'm just going to say a little bit about tobacco. And are you talking about tobacco or the other stuff? Whatever. Okay. Mio and I kind of connect on a level of, because she's totally one with her higher self. So she's like very open to these things. But anyway, yeah, Mio, it's the tobacco is tobacco. I don't know about the other addiction. I don't really want to go into right now, but we will. I do plan to do that, and hopefully I will have the opportunity in this plane to work with folks because it's a very big issue for me, but both. From yes, cigarettes are, but the other addiction, the addiction of orgasmic release is also is way up there in terms of you know not an easy thing to deal with. It's probably worse than smoking, and and it's not necessarily all bad. So that's and people would like to color it as either all good or all bad, and this is an issue that we'll get into over time. But I really broached it. I really approached it on Faye Inger's interview, and I surprised myself. She brought things out in me that I never really. Like, things came out yesterday in that interview that were very she's a very high soul. She's a very high soul, and she brought out some things like she like I didn't even know how much I love my Rebbe. She asked me about my Rebbe, and I just started crying. I was just like, I didn't even know that I was so, that I'm so in love with my Rebbe that I would cry like that. It took me by surprise. So I'm seeing that my camera on Instagram, you would be able to see the guitar on this one. So I maybe if I bring the camera closer, I'll figure that out so you guys can see the guitar. Love the hair. Yeah, the hair is really. Um, Thank you, Linda. Yeah, it's just from. I've done a lot of work, man. On myself, and I'm not a. I don't think of myself as. I don't think of myself as like an elevated or any of that kind of nonsense. But um, because of my extreme sensitivities. I totally ID with Mio, because Mio also, she's like me. She's like completely sensitive, and like exposed. People like, and probably I guess we're empaths. Probably most of the people on the channel are exactly like us. It's just like you have this kind of openness that is makes you sort of delicate, or it makes it requires a lot of work to, like us, to not succeed, but to find our way through the maze of the matrix and the world. So, yeah, so there have been periods in my life when I just could not leave the room. That's why I have to be careful, because I'm very comfortable in my space here. I realized last night when I went down to the mail room that I hadn't been out of my apartment all day, but I felt like I had been all over the world, because in my mind I'm completely, I'm in the digital space, and it was, in my mind I've been, all over the place, to talking to people in Nepal, and everywhere. Just Utah, and I mean, in terms of geography, but also in terms of connecting with other souls all over the planet. I mean, it's an amazing time to be alive. Yeah, Mio, you agree? Yeah, it's we're all star seeds, right? And it's not easy to navigate in a human awareness. I mean, I it's taken me many decades. I mean, I feel like now I am like able to function to a very much higher degree than ever before. But it's taken decades of real soul searching, and really, it takes a lot of. You have to really be kind to yourself, like Mio. You have to be good to yourself, and be careful you don't. I think the main thing is not to get into judgment. Just don't judge yourself, because that's what the cabal wants. They want you to, oh, I'm a loser. I can't quit smoking. I can't do this. That's what the cabal. Then the cabal's got you, man. Then I shouldn't say cabal. Then the 13 BL families have you, man. They got you by their crocodile teeth. So it takes a lot of grace. Yeah, it's really grace, and at the end of the day, it's leaving Mitzrayim. What is Mitzrayim? The narrow place, the place of constriction, the matrix. But it really means leaving judgment, leaving judgment of yourself behind, leaving for sure judgment of others, and judgment of yourself, which is what the 13 bloodline families want you to think. What a miserable wretch you are. And that leads to the place where your intellect finally, the fear-based intellect finally, at some point, could basically dissolve. Like Faye Inger she calls it the veil. The veils are lifted, and there are many layers of veils. And when the veil is lifted, and you stop living in your intellect, in your fear-based, rational-based um, environment, and you start to bask in the sun and the light of godliness, and that doesn't mean like religiousness. It means to connect with source through your heart. I mean, and that Gila talks a lot about that, and I think beautifully. But I'm not on her level, so I have to like kind of like do it, and everybody probably has a different way of connecting, and that's the real beauty. Yes, crazy thing. No, I understand that. I totally understand that, Lady Ann. I totally understand that. My way, you know, my way of quitting a habit is to do it until you're sick of it. But no, I understand that. Like if you have a choice, like for me, it's like, if let's say I was dealing with the issue of pornography, people say, well, just put a gate on your thing, put um, what do they call, like like a censorship thing. That makes me crazier. Like once when I was addicted to narcotics, there's a drug called naltrexone, I think, which makes it impossible to get high. If you're an addict and they say, okay, so now we're going to take away your ability to get high, that can make you nuts. I didn't check my mail. My mail. They could make you. I did check my mail yesterday. You mean the regular mail or Gmail? Yeah, if you get beyond your, yeah, we're getting so transparent. You get beyond your emotional blockage, and we get beyond secrets. We get beyond like this thing with pornography really has to be brought out into the light, because it can't be cured without examination. It's just like a closet alcoholic, man. I mean, you go out to the garbage can, and there's like all these bottles in the garbage can. I'm not saying that's not the case here, but when I was a superintendent, it was pretty obvious who the alcoholics were when you clean the garbage. I mean, it's like you can't hide this stuff forever, and I think when it comes into the light, and that's where I agree with Lady Anne, is like I'm just that way. I mean, if you say you cannot do this, that makes it impossible for me to quit. I mean, and that's why it was harder for me to quit. What I'm saying, now I'm going to another point, but anyway, we'll discuss addiction. We'll get through this, but addiction, is really in its heart a desire to come closer to source. So, in that sense, the AA, which is where I discovered God, was through AA. When I was in AA, I was like, I really want to connect with God, and I had what's called a boss call. I had like a heavenly voice, not a heavenly voice, just my own voice inside my head told me it's time. And I didn't know anything about AA. Just like when I was contacted about the vision of the Holy Temple, just came into my mind. It's time, and I knew that meant it's time to go to AA. And I went, and it was I spent the like most beautiful 2 years of my life there until I started dating a woman from AA, which they all tell you don't do that. But I'm like that. I always tell you that. My mom also told me, don't put your hand near the fire. Don't touch the stove, Ellie. And it's like, she couldn't stop me. I just was determined to check it out. I also was told not to mess with electric wires. First thing I do is take a scissor and cut the wires from my cuckoo clock, and got a shock that I will never forget. Um, but so there's a lot, and this is all part of the Great Awakening, is coming into the light and really like leaving judgment, leaving the fear based intellect, leaving secrets, leaving all the things that you're ashamed of, leaving the city of shame. The city of shame is, so leaving the city of uh, criticism, leaving the city of fear, and leaving the city of shame. That's fame, right? Maybe fame is associated with shame. I don't know. Norwich, New York. Interesting. So anyway, yeah. So that's that. So now I like to make the same mistake a lot of times. Yeah, I'm with you, Mia. I'm exactly like that. Yeah, that's how I am, Mio. I'm like that. I have to make sure that I really, really, really am sure I'm done with something. I mean, when I quit drinking the last time, I drank a couple of times. I didn't just drink one more time. I said this is gonna be a big move for me, and I'm just gonna go through my regular alcohol things, and then I'm gonna get really pretty well plowed, and then I'm gonna do it all one time. It's like with smoking. I I I had to leave my second wife. I said and then I smoked up because I was growing my own. I was smoking a pipe. I was mixing it with homegrown cannabis, and I was really it was really a rush, man. And so I got it. I smoked till I got sick, and then I said, okay, man, that's it. Just like really also with my second wife. I just we had I knew I had to leave her, and it was not easy. I even after we got divorced, so I saw her a few times, and she was a very mm, very she was able to make a person feel very comfortable in that space, and it was very, very hard to leave. But yeah, so we'll be talking about habits, but really at the end of the day, I mean, I totally agree with AA that it's all about us having too much ego and really wanting to connect to source. And if you put those two things together, if you run away from evil, you run away from Egypt, you run away from slavery, and you run towards the promised land. You have to like run away and run towards at the same time. But I loved going to AA meetings to hear people like really speak about their inner selves. That was tremendously wonderful. And I used to make like 3 or 4 meetings a day. I mean, I was just like, it was really just so pleasurable. And then I moved to Nashville and I started drinking. I mean, but actually my second wife, it was, I drank for the first time with my second wife, so I could blame her, right? That's what we like to do. We like to blame others for our little challenges. Okay. So anyway, so my belief is to kind of change the direction of the flow here. Oh, but yeah, so check out Faye Inger's interview, and I think she's somebody to be, to watch. It was totally random. I mean, I'm not saying a lot of people ask me for interviews, but people do occasionally ask me for interviews, and usually I don't really have a lot of time, extra time. I mean, I'm so busy, doing my regular stuff. But for some reason, it just popped in. Like I said, I don't spend that much time in my intellectual mind. I don't spend my time like figuring things like how am I gonna be successful? How am I gonna do this? How am I gonna? I don't think about that stuff because I know that God will give me what I need. He'll say, okay, now make this call. Now go over there, make a video about that. I mean, it's just like everything. If you pay attention to source will reach out to you constantly. That's what the Baal Shem Tov said. Everything you see here, everything that somebody says to you, is a direct message. And I always think back to that story about the guy who wanted to be saved, and the God came by in a rowboat. God came by with a helicopter. He says, "No, I'm waiting for God." It's like, pay attention, man, because God is in the details. It could come to, things come in it. And once you get into that mindset of that you understand that God is reaching out to you in every moment of your life, it just takes it just makes life a lot more fun because you don't have to worry about figuring it out or like, well, I what am I supposed to do now? It's like he'll let you know. It's like I say he because I relate to God as he, but because I'm a male. Because I'm male. I mean, Gila's able to she's on a different level. I mean, she's a woman and she's able to experience God as like as a loving like partner. I experience God as it's just it's like the inside of me. It's like it's not like I can't really envision God as anything separate. And it's not that I'm like feel like I'm God. It's just that I don't I realized yesterday when I was doing this thing that when I look up and talk to this guy up here, it's not God. It is God. It's a part of God because everything is God, but it's really the demon of the demon of doubt. That's what I'm going to call him from now on. It's the demon of doubt that's like, well, you should have done this, you should have done that. The Billy would have done it, this way, and George. It's like that's the demon of doubt that we are constantly struggling with. It's the demon of doubt that makes us crazy. But as the matrix becomes more exposed, this demon of doubt is going to lose its power and we will actually look forward. We will look back and say, man, I wish I still had the demon of doubt so I could deal with my issues. It's now everything is like kumbaya, man. I'm just like chilling in heaven. I mean, that's how it's going to be soon. It's just going to be, we're going to be in the Gula Shlema, the complete redemption, and it's going to be all good. And we're going to say, man, damn, I wish, I could have done something really, really powerful if I had, I could have confronted the demon of doubt. I could have worked on my, you will look back upon this time that according to the Rebbe, this is not my idea, but the Rebbe said, we will look fondly back to the days when there was still like evil forces on the planet. So we had a chance to work out our issues. Well, yeah, he resists the proud because it's really like a self thing because Right, because it's just because when you're prideful, you're really not yourself. You're being, you're outside of your godly self. And I mean, this is how they put it in Tanya, that you're serving the animal self. And it's like it's just a matter of removing the veil. It's not really like when you're prideful, it's not really you. It's like you're putting a veil, you're putting a barrier between you and God. At least that's how it is for me. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Jason. It is it's true. If you're if you're a Kaylee, if you're a vessel for receiving information, if you don't feel like you have to do it all yourself, it's going to be a lot easier for you. So yeah. All right, so let's check out some intel. I'm just gonna briefly look at the market. Okay, so the market is the market is taking a bit of a tumble. It's down about 200 points. Is this, they say Friday, Fryday, it will be, the market will crash. It doesn't look like necessarily that's today, but some Friday the market will go down to, zero. Bitcoin will and Ethereum will either go to zero, or they'll be flipped onto a stellar backed system instead of Tether. Tether is a total scam, like the fiat currency. They just do like, Bitcoin is backed by air. And so with Ethereum too, by Tether. Tether is just a made up, it's like, okay, this is, valuable. It's like paper money. It's a hype. So okay, so that's that. And let's briefly, let me just check in with the let's see. Let me go to let's see what kind of airplanes are up right now. Funny, this airplane channel isn't it's taking time these days. I don't know. I'm not getting it. All right, so here, is it coming? No, I'm not getting it. All right, so if anybody has that channel, they can let us know if there are a lot of planes up. Okay, so those are the first few things I look at. Yes, surrender them. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Shira's platform again. Go to. I would say, subscribe to Mio's platform. I really want Mio to be able to live as an artist and get paid for it. I mean, if you can build up your channel to over 1,000 people, man, you'll get start getting an income, and then you won't have to like you won't have to sweat it, man. I mean, unless you get, like me, you get taken down all the time. But hopefully, we're working hard to keep this channel intact and not get any strikes against us. But it seems to me that when I got to around 50 grand subscribers, they were just like, we don't like this guy. But the white hats could be in control. I don't know. Anyway, it's a lot of interesting things going. So let's check out the intel. You guys okay with that? We could check out the intel. I like to make the same. Yeah, I'm with you, Mayo. I'm the same way. Let me just. Speaking of airplanes, I counted over your area. Where do you live, Pauline? 4K watch hours. Oh, you need 1,000 subs and 4K watch hours. So Mio, you just need to right. Yeah. Sure, I think your channel is going to be incredibly successful. I guess you know it. It seems like it's a well planned operation. But Shira's, I also recommend Shira's channel because she does what I think is really really important, which is hypnotism, which is subliminal messaging, that we have to deal with our subconscious, because you can't go through your conscious mind. The conscious mind is just it's a doorway. It's a doorway to keep things out. But to get into the inner circle of your consciousness, you have to, I believe that it's really helpful to do some things like what Shira offers on her channel, because it's like Ellie says, you look like a Rembrandt. Yeah, she is like a Rembrandt. I mean, I could just cry with, she's so honest. Yeah, the Shira's channel is great. Mios channel, yeah. So increase. You want to get a beard? Yeah. It doesn't look. It really like I don't know why the beard. Oh, I have a beard because I have no chin, man. I have a weak chin. It's like my first wife used to say, you better grow a beard, man. You got no chin, man. So I look like a little baby. I look like a baby without a beard. I mean, even though I'm like in my 60s, I would probably look like a little child, and it would just be embarrassing. I think we have to. Wait, I missed that. Right, we have white, but yeah, they have to root out the bad guys. Right, that's interesting. That's from Melody. Yeah, Melody always has good interesting. So, it's- yeah, I know, Michael. It's hard. Oh, I was going to get Michael's. Yeah, yeah, you have to be careful, and I learned the same lesson over and over again. They kept calling me a cyber bully, and I'm like, what is that? And then I realized what I was doing that brought attention to my channel. Thanks, Kath. Yeah, a baby. Yeah. Oh, okay. So let me show you. Let me just show you something. This will show you how into self examination I am. But this is me as a baby. I so that's what I would look like without a beard. Gil likes the picture like this. Um, oh, here's Mios channel. Okay, good. Oh, okay. Good, yeah. So yeah, definitely check out Mia's channel. I mean, she it doesn't it feels like a Rembrandt to me. I mean, she's so Europe to Mio to us. You're very European, you know. I know Mio. um, Apparently, like when I was born, I was a breech baby. I didn't want to, I was fighting with God on my way out, and then it took like my mother said it took like 12 hours for me to be born. And then I like rolled over right away. And I think I peed in the doctor's face. I mean, I was like, I've always been, a little bit different. Okay. Quit using fluoride toothpaste and don't drink water from the tap. Yeah. Okay. So let's check out the intel. Okay, guys. So yeah, Warrior for Freedom. I do enlightenment community starseed stuff until my yes. So Info Prison, let us know what your channel is. I'm not doing that so much in the show more now because I'm really trying to expand into a real channel. 26 hours, 5 days late. But he wasn't being born for. Oh, he took 26 hours. Wow. Psh, interesting. Goats eat does eat goats, but little lambs eat IV by State Farm. I'm not sure what you mean, but I started to teach my daughter meditation because she had trouble sleeping. Wow. Since with the meditation, that's amazing. I'm responding to Kristen's teachings. Awesome dreams. Oh, that was Mio was saying this. It was 26. I missed details. Um, I thought that was all right. All right, let's go to the intel. I mean, it seems to me like we're in the end stages. I still believe. I mean, this is just my personal belief that we're looking at, and I know, like, hopefully Gila won't freak out when I say this, but I think they really want to do remember the 5th of November. I don't think anything's going to go down. I think the election has to go through for the normies to get what's coming down, and in the meantime, they're going to take everybody out. Mares eat oats, yeah. Um, I slept between contractions. 36 hours of labor. OMG, man. 30 years plus ringing in the ear. All right, so yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, East Shemaya, man. Um, Tiff's definitely. You're all you guys are next level. All right, so I'm gonna try to let's delve into the intel. Let's just see what's going on while we're here. Okay, so let's look. I didn't see. I heard Gila just put out a really nice video. I didn't really get to see that. I haven't seen that yet. Somehow I'm like always doing something. I don't know if I'm really doing. Oh, I see another pretty girl is reaching out to me. Another scammer, man. Do not. Somebody reached out to me and told me that they were smart enough. They thought Ellie Weber was reaching out to them on Telegram, and his wife said that's a scammer, and he didn't respond. Do not respond to anyone who says he's me, or SG Anon, or anybody else. Do not deal with these people. These are scammers. Okay, let's go to. Oh, okay, so nothing new on the white hats. Here I am. As soon as I start doing intel, I start yawning. It's just. Okay, so here we go with the Whipster. Zebra, bring the thunder. Number one, it's damn time. BTC server, Kakhovka, Dam 2, MTC, Bitcoin mining. Yeah, we knew all this. The Imam Mahdi, Saudi Arabia, has repaired relationships with Syria. The Sunnis and Shias are getting along. That's so beautiful. We read this last night, though. Number two, Russia will ban all crypto, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. This will force the internet cut. Bitcoin and Ethereum to zero, possibly 0 hour for Earth. They're saying that could be the 25th of March. I don't know. Number three, this will stop the Shanghai Ethereum upgrade. Will all fork into Stellar, but not in their upgrade time frame sooner. Everything's going to fork into Stellar. It will stop the Credit Suisse Deutsche Bank Taurus deal. The stock market will collapse Friday. Now that's today, so that means some Friday. BlackRock will enter Stellar on Monday. Bring the flood with them. Monday, let's see. Today is, I got to plug in. Okay, so today is the 24th already. 25th, they're saying, was 0 hour. Could it be on Saturday? I don't know. They're saying 25th could be 0 hour. Who knows what they mean by that? So they're saying that, so 25th, 26th, 27th would be Monday. BlackRock would enter Stellar on Monday, bringing the flood with them. Interesting. I mean, I think we're very close. Nutsy Dutchy. Yeah, they say the European consciousness is B'nai There are three sons of Noach: Shem, Chum, and Yefes. That the European consciousness is Yefes, by the son Yefes. And Yefes was very into culture and or the idea of culture and art, kind of the Greek, also the Greek thing with the body. I like European. I feel very comfortable in Europe with the European consciousness. I really I feel that my parents were kind of in that consciousness. I think, and I also think that people give. I think it's wrong to be so critical of American consciousness, and I think that's a lot of that could be based on kind of a jealousy, maybe. I don't know. I think bashing Americans. I mean, there are some ugly Americans, but I think by and large, Americans are just like any other people. Okay, so let's look at some more intel. Gonna lay down. Okay, David. So we have three. We're a little low on the peeps today, but here we're going to go into some intel. Maybe this will draw some people in. Now, yeah, I wasn't able to download all these things, but they realize they can't force feed us political candidates anymore, and they're panicking. They've been like just choosing for us, and that's really wrong. Yeah, I don't think Americans. I mean, like people tell me, like people say, "Oh, rednecks." The rednecks, they're so anti-Jewish and everything. When I was in the South, man, the quote rednecks were so nice to me. I mean, they just took me in. They literally took me into their houses and fed me, and took care of me. I mean, I had a woman. We were musical. We were in the same music. We used to play music together, and she took me into her home and took care of me for months, maybe like a year. It was really nice. Brody's only skin deep. Ugly goes to the bone. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think we're pretty good to each other. I really think a lot of this is hype. If you look for like bad things between people, you're going to see bad things between people. If you have the eye that everything is good. Like I was in the, like I don't get that much experience outside of my little environment, and I'm waiting for these things to download. But there's really no new intel today. But I was in the airport. I had to wait for like 4 hours in the airport. It was a very long ordeal, and I saw some people. And in my mind, in the old days, I could have justified thinking to myself, "Oh, I really don't like that guy because he's X." But in my mindset now, it's just like, okay, I don't know. And there was one guy that I looked at, and I was like, what's up with that guy, man? What's he about? And I thought, and I saw how he was dressed. He was coming from Utah. I saw how he was dressed, and then I thought, if I wasn't religious, I'd be dressed just like him. I like it the way, and it was like, if you look at somebody with a kind eye, even though he looked a little unfriendly, he looked a little tough, but I started to notice things about him. Then I realized he was Jewish. He was a Jewish guy from New York who was living in Utah. I mean, he could have been me. So like, my first reaction was, oh, here's, this guy's out there, he's a tough guy or whatever it is. But then I started, if you look at somebody with a kind eye, you start to see, oh, that is me. That is me in another body. And then at towards the end, I wasn't able to locate a cup of coffee for myself, and he got a cup of coffee, and I said, "Where did you get that coffee?" And he's just as nice as can be. He says, "Oh yeah, just go to over there. There, So a lot of times our first reactions, we look at somebody and we see this thing, and we're like, "Oh no, man, I don't like that guy." But if you look a little closer, you'll see, it's really you in another body. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with America. I think. Yeah, Gil is amazing. Gil is amazing. Yeah, I don't know about me, but Gila for sure is amazing. Yeah, yeah. Everybody wants you to be scared right now. I'm gonna ditch the intel because there's really nothing new. It's basically it's the intel. There's nothing new for you guys. We've already gone through the worst of it, and now it's just a matter of the mop up operation. They said last night they got all the bad guys. They got all the big dudes. They're gonna do this, like, 3-day thing, or what, if it even happens. It's just to get the little guys, get all the little guys. I knew a guy that came all the way from Utah. It dried up eventually. Okay. I assume you're talking about the lake, maybe. But yeah, yeah. Gila she cooks on before Shabbos, so she's. I don't know if she'd be cooking at this time. She could be. She's probably doing her cooking thing. She's an amazing person. Amazing. I mean, I'm so blessed to have her as a friend. Especially because it's considered, it's way over the line to be friends with a married woman. Is like, in the Jewish community, that's like sinful, and yet we tried to, like, a couple times we tried to, like, unfriend each other, and it was just like, we called each other back the next day. It's like, I just can't do this. Um, so we just understand there's an essential friendship, and then God put us together to get us through the storm, because we're both religious. Yeah, so all is good. Anyway, seems pretty uneventful. I'm sorry. Well, as soon as I hit the intel, man, I just start yawning. All right. Any other? I guess we could close out the week. Everything is pretty. I've forgotten about intel. Yeah, I think it's a source. If you look at the intel, it's a source of anxiety and cheap thrills, and maybe it codifies you, or makes you feel good for a minute. I think so. I mean, listen. I mean, the intel. What are they going to tell you that you don't already know? It's just going to be the details. Okay, so somebody saw Dr. F. Really? You really believe that? They're going to arrest Dr. F. It's like, they arrested him like 3 years ago, man. That guy was criminal from the get go. So there's always a reason. Yeah, there's always a reason for the data. Yeah, it's just sing a song. Should we sing a song? Yeah. Check your mail before the link. Oh, you sent me some music. I didn't. I spaced out. Hey, Gila, it's an essential friendship. We can't, we know each other from before. I have another person who's reached out to me, calls me a lot, from Alaska. I was like, why I didn't ask her that, but she met Gila first, and she says, Ellie, she says, I've known you. I know you. We're from the same place. It's like we're old friends. I just recognized you. When I saw you, I recognized you. And I should sing, yeah, because I added a verse. Yeah, okay, so I'll sing a little. Let's see. I'm having a bit of a soiree, would you say? A little bit of a romantic encounter with my guitar these days. I'm just really falling in love. I mean, I'm playing much more than I used to. I'm really enjoying it. So nice, and it's so nice to be able to perform a bit, because it's very good for your chops, for your agility on the instrument, to play live. Oh, I forgot to plug in. I'm sorry. I don't know if you could even hear that. Okay, so now I have a drawer just for guitar. EBS is sooner than you think. It could be. It could be Marcy Buck. I don't know. I'm not an expert, and I know Gil would be happier if it comes faster. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right, let's try it again. Oh, wait, I have to plug in. Oh, I have to. It's a whole procedure now. I'm getting it down though. I'm getting it down. I'm learning what requires, what it takes to be able to play. Let me put on my things. Okay, now I'll be able to hear. Kitchen shelves are fully stocked. I got bottled water under my cot. Oh Lord, I got the EBS Blues. Old Dr. Fauci, he got that ouchie. Jelaine and Jeffrey, they weren't no slouchies. Oh Lord, I got the EBS Blues. I'm waiting for those 10 days of darkness, waiting for the first arrest. Oh Lord, why is that general wearing a dress? Day after day, night after night, not a single black swan in sight. Oh Lord, I got the EBS Blues. Yeah, man, I got the EBS Blues. Yeah, I need a little practice, right? Thanks, Anki. Anki shoot. Makeup with Kristen. So, yeah, let's see. I know you, writer, gonna miss me when I'm gone. I know you, writer, gonna miss me when I'm gone. Gonna miss your baby rolling in your arms. Well, I wish I was a headlight on a northbound train. I wish I was a headlight on a northbound train. I'd shine my light through the cool Colorado rain. I know you, writer, gonna miss me when I'm gone. No, you, writer, gonna miss me when I'm gone. Gonna miss your baby rolling in your arms. I think that's an old folk song, so I don't think I'm going to get a copyright strike against me on that one. I'll go out and see if I'm twinkling it. All right. So anyway, let's see. Thanks, John. Flares are bringing back DNA. Yeah, 100%. Please God. Let me see what else. What else do we have? Yeah, let's try that. I'll try one more. I want to do that Winds of Jericho. I haven't done that in a while. If I can find it. Let's see. Here we go. Try to keep everything organized. And then, right. Let's see if we can do this. I want to keep this one in mind. Went out on a Friday, dust by my side, down dry gully through the ring of fire. Went out on a Friday, dust by my side, down dry gully through the ring of fire. Could see for miles, left the eagles behind, purple and green, cold metal grind. Winds of Jericho, the winds of Jericho. Faceless maiden called out to me, left a silver slipper and a cup of hot tea. She said, never ride in the open to a prophet's grave. Better fill your basket with sky and wave. The winds of Jericho, the winds of Jericho. Wake up time, my sleepy ones. Open your eyes to the rising sun. Climb to her window, but don't touch her bed. The promised land lies straight ahead. The winds of Jericho, the winds of Jericho, the winds of Jericho. Yeah, man, we're coming to the promised land. That's for sure. Okay, so we will see you guys, God willing, after Shabbos. Yeah. Have a good Shabbos. Those of you who keep the Shabbos should have a good Shabbos. Those who don't should have a great, restful, and regenerating weekend. And please God, we'll be back here next week to do it all over again, but in an even better way. I remember every day you're a new person and it's a new world and it's only going to get better. So enjoy the ride. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. God bless. I'll miss you. I love you. Bye.